Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot, the first cases. Excellent. Today I am feeling a little better, so I hope there is not as much yawning. But hello, everyone, how are you all doing? Hopefully you are doing well. Ashley, hello, how are you doing? I am talking the
Aye,
butler.
detective.
Merci, monsieur. I shall let you continue your duties. I would not want you to upset Madame Vandenbosch.
Vandenbosch. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Oh yeah, I was... It's the butler! He did it! I'm sorry, but they have been showing the Hercule Poirot again on TV. Best moment was, I think, Poirot was in a flu. That was the beginning premise. And then Hastings was like, okay, let's go to a theater. I think it was after, I think. Yeah, Poirot was feeling better. But they were in a play, stage play, watching a murder mystery. Then in the, what was it called, intermission, then Poirot wrote something on the pamphlet, and then he said very smugly, it is the murderer, you know, kind of blacking with his intellect and grey sailors. And then when it was there is only one who could have killed this person, then isn't that right, Miss Major? And then Poirot was just, the writer is an imbecile. And then yeah. Then Hastings looked what Poirot has written down, and it says Poirot did it. It is funny that they poked fun, the cliché that Poirot did it. If it is a butler, make it interesting. That is the lesson that everyone should do. And it also makes sense. I should make myself known before entering.
Entrez.
The Comtesse room. It would be rude to not address her before searching her room.
Detective, what a pleasure. I did not expect to see you in my chambers.
In a purely professional capacity, I can assure you.
Back to 30. Keep it up. By the way, tomorrow is Friday. If it goes as planned, I am doing stream hour later, like today. But I was thinking I am streaming this tomorrow as well.
There is no need to act so stiff, detective.
Madame, after the revelation of your actions last night, I'm afraid my sense of humor is all but gone.
I will not apologize again for merely trying to help. Shall we get straight to it then? Let us not waste your time any further, detective.
I saw you conversing with one of the young servants today.
That would be Inga. She has been one of the most promising young women that has come from the shelter.
Madame Vandenbosch took in a young lady from your shelter.
Ah, there's a connection.
There is no need to sound so surprised, detective. She does have a heart.
I did not mean to sound so cruel. I just did not expect Madame to hire someone of that background after the incident with her previous maid, Florette.
People change, detective. You should not judge someone on their past actions.
Believe me, Countess, I know that only too well.
I have to check how many years since it has passed. It has been at least 1 year. Or is it just months? I commend you on your dedication with the women you help. It is most honorable.
Be careful, detective. That almost sounded like a compliment.
It is your actions in this house that have been questionable, Madame. Your work outside is something that many more could take note of.
We do what we can.
Have you been able to find many of the girls from the shelter work?
We wouldn't be doing a very good job if I could only help one girl. I in fact found work for one of them as a maid in Monsieur da Silva's house recently.
She has fitted into Monsieur's home well.
What is better, detective? That she remained in an abusive house, or she is able to rebuild her life with an honest wage in a prosperous house?
When put like that, is she happy in her position?
The happiest she has been in years. I check in with them all as often as possible. And if there was a problem, I would know.
I am glad to hear that more girls are building better future for themselves, and it is with help from the Comtesse that it has been able to happen.
Merci, Madame.
Okay, book. Perhaps the happy couple's engagement has someone in a particular romantic mood. Don't tell me it's Romeo and Juliet. It doesn't say. Gramophone player. The wonder of modern technology. What a joy it must be to have music in one's home. Imagine something like that was a luxury. Nowadays everyone can have music in their own home. Either, for example, YouTube, Spotify, you can have CDs, downloaded music. You can have it in your home.
Oh.
The chance to play is very tempting, but I shall save myself the embarrassment. Following fire, I could stand and gaze into the flames for hours. Perhaps a present for the family, as a thank you for their hospitality. Highlighted music, but Poirot would catch me. He will never catch me. I am slippery. I will hide behind my harem. A first aid kit full of medical equipment, bandages, plasters, antiseptic, and a pair of scissors. Window. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside surrounds the house. Plants thin rely on each other to survive, something we as species could take lesson from. Let's see, talk to Magua.
Go ahead, detective.
Perhaps I was a little harsh with my response to you examining the Major's body.
A compliment and now an apology. Well, detective, you certainly have changed your tune.
There was something I was still unsure of. You mentioned that your training was some years ago.
From my days as a nurse, oui.
If that is so, why would you have brought several pieces of equipment usually found in a physician's bag?
One must always be prepared, detective.
Prepared? At an engagement celebration?
If I had not brought them, I would not have been able to assist you last night. Perhaps you should be thankful for my precaution and not so suspicious.
We actually had in school, I think a couple of years ago, we had an ER training, and that was the lady who was doing it said that there is good thing to have a first aid kit always with you. If possible. Because even if it's just have a small cut, you know, that it doesn't bother you or it isn't dangerous or anything, but still that you can have a bandage over it. But where do I carry it? Well, I probably have some sort of bag. They are very small. Not small, but... And had she not brought them at all, I would not have to ask such questions.
Merci, madame. Huh.
The time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece, it is an art form. The ever-guarded Jacqueline Conrad. It is time I should question her and her conversation with the Major before searching her room. It would be nice to have, but it's very impractical. Yeah, it is, you know, and the idea is that, just that. Be prepared. Will something happen? You hope not. And probably not, but still. And then of course I personally love to use usually, you know, backpacks. Or other, you know, bags to have. So for me it is just like boom. As a first aid kit, I think no. Good question. But you know, that's what she said, that you should always have. But maybe it is because I am always so careful with everything. Got me. I wasn't saying I had an emergency kit. I was telling that the one who did ER training for us, she said that you always have to have an emergency bag. Yeah.
Detective, what can I do for you?
Mademoiselle, I am sure you understand my reasoning for such intrusion.
If it's going to clear my name, be my guest.
If you wouldn't mind answering some questions, it can hopefully be cleared faster.
I'd like to start with your relationship with the Major.
Like I said, he's not the man he wants everyone to think he is.
Yeah, we by the way had also CPR in that same
Oui,
training.
but how is it you came to that conclusion?
You don't really want me to recount every conversation I've had with him, do you?
But a terrible American accent.
There is one particular I had in mind.
Tell me about your argument.
An argument would imply it was a two-way conversation.
And that is not how it was?
Here it is. I've been helping Angeline get exposure, her marriage to Gideon is big news, and his work is really paving the way for others. I saw the chance to get their names out there, and he didn't like it.
What was there not to like?
Your guess is as good as mine, Detective. But if I had to, I'd say he was jealous it wasn't his name at the top of the article.
And his reason to storm off?
And that's a British person trying very hard to sound American. If I try to sound American, I try to sound like Texas. Yeehaw!
Oh, you know about that. Let's just say I didn't accept his pathetic attempt to get me to stop the story. If you're gonna try and pay someone off, at least make it worth their while.
I thought the Major would only be supportive of Mademoiselle Angeline. There must be more to why he would not want her success to be known. I'm sure you have grown weary of this subject, but Monsieur Beggars.
You've really got a fascination with that guy, huh?
I don't know why, but suddenly I turned Sean Connery. Almost turned Sean Connery.
I would not say fascination. An interest, perhaps.
Well, I'll save you the bother of trying to find out more about him. He's not that interesting. In fact, he's a bit of a wimp if you ask me.
That is not the impression I got of him.
That's because you've only seen the side of him he wants you to. He knows what to say in front of the right people. But behind closed doors, he's clueless.
Clueless in what way?
Let me guess. The first thing he told you was that he was a union leader. No, the voice of the people.
Actually, yes.
A man that is proud of his work is not something to be sneered at.
Don't get me wrong, he has a way with words, and he can certainly rally a crowd. But that's about it. At the end of the day, he's a representative and nothing more. He's got to play the part, not just learn the lines.
It is maybe because I have had the old James Bond movies on the background when I have done something. Maybe that's why I turned into Sean Connery. Man with the sexy Scottish accent. Mademoiselle does not think particularly highly of Monsieur Beggars. She is a strong, independent woman, but to use the term wimp is an unnecessary attack on his character.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Oh, you got the Death on the Nike game today. Ooh, is it sponsored by Nike? I didn't know Nike did Hercule Poirot games.
Sure thing, Detective. And if you change your mind on that exclusive about that shooting...
If I do change it, you shall be the first to know.
I will not shut up. It is the newest one. I say newest one, but I think there was older game also. I am actually checking that now. I have Steam here. Oh, I have there. Murder on Orient Express. Then was there anything else? At least not here. Is there anything here? No. Maybe I didn't buy it then. But yeah, I have what comes to at least these Agatha Christie games. I have Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot, the London case. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Death on the Nile. Is it the 2025 game that you are talking about? Yeah. (25th/9th, 2025). Yes. Yeah. It is on my help wish list, but that I haven't bought. I have the London case and then Murder on the Orient Express. Those I have bought. Among them a recent article by Jackie Conrad about the riots linked to Ernesto's factory. Peaceful strikes turn to loss of lives as violence breaks out on front line. Following the tragic events in the city that has darkened the spirits of the people and brought to a screeching halt the rising defiance of the working class, the area has been cordoned off and police presence at the scene has increased. Factory security forces have been asked to step down and the powers handed over to law enforcement services. Workers laid down their tools, switched off all machinery and stood together shoulder to shoulder as the fight for fair pay and conditions raged on. What started as peaceful protests by those employed at the factories has turned into a battle of class, with support for the workers coming in from all over the city. Cordoned. What did I say? Cordoned. Okay. Yeah. Although reports have been confirmed, sources state that violence broke out following a second wave surge of supporters. Official numbers had not been published, but it is believed that as many as 8 workers have lost their lives in the fighting. The workers' front line has been considered as a representation of the people and working class of Belgium that now refuse to work in such demanding conditions for such a demeaning and insufficient wage. Chief Commissioner Larue has confirmed that the outbreak of violence and resulting civilian deaths are being investigated and an official statement is to be made in the coming days. Jacqueline Conrad. Tämä on modern technology. There was a sound playing. So there has been actual riot in Conrad's factory. Not Conrad's, Ernesto's factory. So Ernesto probably doesn't like either the union leader is not as peaceful as they are claiming to be, or then there was some incident and then Ernesto obviously doesn't like workers unionizing. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. Pocket knife. I presume this belongs to Jackie. Chasing a good story may lead her into some precarious scenarios. Jackie has set up a makeshift office in her room. She must plan her work with her everywhere. Mr. Antique, spotted leaving the Velvet Tickle Friday at 23:15. You know who'd be a bad boss? This reverse to Lash. It will be. It will be. Yeah. If I make a story of there being an evil baddie, I will never name him or them Slavers Lash. Campbell House has been poaching off neighboring land. Boar, deer and duck. Maggie to follow up. Mrs. Bont found her husband in their marital bed with a young maidservant. Testament from maid needed. Mr. Denold overheard in the cackling crow speaking poorly of King Leopold. He said questionable ideas. We say doubtful, skeptical, shady. Notes from Francis by Monday.
Go right ahead, Detective.
I was surprised to learn Monsieur Da Silva and the maid worked together.
All Felix cared about was money and filling his pockets with it. That's why he got into bed with De Silva.
Ooh, congratulations.
The Major was not in need of money, though.
Need and want are two very different things. Did he need to move here and leech off the Madame? No, but he wanted to.
Tell me your opinion of their work together.
As far as I know, De Silva hired him to work security. He was worried what could happen to his precious factories if things got ugly.
And your reporters were there to cover the story when it did turn that way.
My reporters go where there is news to be told.
And you predicted the violence that occurred?
Anyone could see that was gonna happen. If you ask me, Hugo should have acted sooner.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax. Aha.
Let's see. Mr. Antique. Mrs. Pont. Not Bond. Pont. And it... But it might also be alias. Because, you know, everybody knows James Bond. But they don't know who James Bond is. it is genius. It's like Spy Family's Twilight naming himself Mr. Forger. The next question. Here we are in Mademoiselle Angeline and Gideon's room. I wonder what we shall find. How? There does not seem to be any of interest in here. Photograph. It seems they used to be closer. Perhaps the recent behavior was merely a facade. Could it be possible that Gideon collaborated with Zachariah? So they were close at some point. On fire, I could stand and gaze into the flames for hours. Gideon's room is pristine. I got a mistake in it for my own. I wonder how many travel expeditions have been planned while enjoying the conditions of the globe. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. The time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece, it is an art form. With all of the guest room searched, I should make my way to the guest room at the east of the first floor. There must be evidence of collusion somewhere.
Mademoiselle, we meet again.
Bonjour, Monsieur Poirot. Pardon, Détective Poirot.
Just a detective is quite all right.
Bon, can I help you with something?
It was you that alerted the house to the major's body, was it not?
I was taking him a plate of food, but he didn't answer to my knocking.
You then entered the study.
I did. He wasn't moving. He just lay there.
I did not mean to upset you again. Seeing him there would be troubling for anyone, and I'm sure it is not a memory you wish to relive.
Tell me about your relationship with the other staff.
I suppose we're like a family. We argue, but most of the time we get along.
You must all be quite close, then.
Some more than others.
You refer to whom, mademoiselle?
Well, Maman sorry, Rihanna, she's been here the longest, and she's very close with Lizzie on account of Luke.
How is it Mademoiselle Elizabeth's fate fiancé connects them?
Maman is Luke's sister. You didn't know that? I thought she would have said. She talks about him all the time. It must have been awful, losing him in those riots.
Aha! So Luke was died at the riots.
Apparently, he was right at the front when they were charged. They didn't stand a chance. If I had been the one responsible for his death, I wouldn't want Maman looking for me.
Mademoiselle Rihanna, Maman Ray, she has expressed her desire for revenge.
And we know that Major was in the front lines.
Every time she talks about what happened.
As a security. How is it that the knowledge of Luke's death has eluded me for so long? The death of a brother is certainly motive enough. I did not see an aggressive side to Mademoiselle Rehana when we spoke, but I wonder if she would act on such impulses for revenge if the opportunity allows. If you do not mind me inquiring, what brought you to the women's shelter?
I guess you wouldn't know anything about life on the streets.
It is not an experience I have had to face personally, but I understand that many are forced into it, and the lifestyle that comes with it.
The lifestyle of a thief, you mean?
Put rather bluntly, oui.
You are the first officer that has not taken one look at me and pulled out their handcuffs.
Mademoiselle, I can see you have turned your life around, and I commend you on your efforts.
Without the Countess, I would probably be rotting in a cell somewhere.
There's an obvious alliance to the Comtesse, and an understandable one at that.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Inga may seem nothing more than a young innocent maid, but there's something that she is withholding. If I am to solve the cases before me, I must learn what it is. Archibald is but there's no connection that I can make yet. I wonder if Monsieur Zachariah is as similarly innocent as his brother. I should speak with him before searching his room.
Monsieur Demir, I hope you are feeling better today.
Nothing a good night's sleep couldn't fix.
Très bien. I wonder if you would be up to discussing certain matters with me.
Whatever you need.
I'm sorry if dealing with Major's body brought up any familiar emotions.
I lost my taste for death a long time ago, but it had to be done. I'm certainly in no rush to be carrying a dead body again, though.
Most understandable. I shall extend the same gratitude to you as I did to your brother.
You've spoken to him already. How is he?
Perhaps that should be a question you ask him yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
I spoke with your brother about your past.
I bet he had a lot to say. He always did have an opinion on the war.
When I say your past, I refer to your past as brothers.
Okay, well, what did he say?
It seems you both had the same sentiment for this party. Perhaps the bridges that you thought were once burnt are in fact primed to be reconstructed.
We'll see how probable that reconstruction is going to be. Until he sees my point of view, I don't know how we can move forward.
What is there for him to understand before the bond can be repaired?
He lost his friends in the war, the same as everyone. But somehow he has forgiven. I'm sorry, Detective, I can't. And Gideon just doesn't understand that.
After speaking with Monsieur Gideon about his brother's state of mind, I think the best thing for them both will be reconciliation. There is something about Monsieur Zachariah's story that he is leaving out though. The death of his friends and comrades weighs heavy on him. Your brother was talking to the Comtesse while in the salon. I was not aware they were so close.
Those two, close.
They must share something in common to be able to hold a conversation for the time they did.
If there is one thing I know about my brother, it's that he will not. No. He cannot be rude. He just doesn't have it in him.
Was it not your brother that punched Monsieur Hagen?
Ah, that's different. He was asking for it. If you put my brother in a room with 5 socialites like her, he would work his way around every single one of them offering his full attention and finest manners.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
Let's check the room. Cigarette butts. The room is littered with mess. Cigarette butts discarded right next to the ashtray.
Huh.
Roaring fire. I could stand and gaze into flames for hours. Salamon and dagger. An ornamental dagger from Zacchaeus' time in the war. Gramophone player. The wonders of modern technology. I like that it actually plays music. There was no plant. Plants lean on land, it's to survive, something we as species could take a lesson from.
Always got time for my favorite detective.
There's a particular item I found while conducting my search.
The dagger. I wondered how long it would take for that to become an issue.
I shall give you the opportunity to explain the reason for it being here before I jump to any conclusions.
It was going to be a wedding gift for Gideon. I've maybe not been the best brother in recent years. I thought this could make up for some of it. After what happened to the Major, I thought it was a bit tasteless.
You did not see it fitting to tell me you were harboring a rather sizable knife in your room?
I wouldn't say harboring. And I wasn't expecting to be a suspect in a murder.
Merci for your assistance, monsieur.
Was that all? Maybe. Next guest room. Monsieur Becker's room. Without him here, I am free to search it. Inside Hugo's notebook, a hasty scrapper regarding a meeting with, who I assume, Ernesto. Curious.
Aha.
Grandfather clock. It's always the same text. It seems he has been attempting to write a speech of some kind, unsuccessfully though. I wonder, does this fit a pattern of behavior with Hugo? You underestimate the power of man's defiance. Your men, you are in position to bring all of this to an end. All we ask is what we deserve. If you do not retract your men, they will be met with equal force, too forceful. Your weapons may beat our bodies, but they will not bruise our heart spirits. These are the men that have built our great nation country and will continue on too. Money will not save your soul. Probably slogans for the strike, maybe?
Aha.
I am checking those. Inspect every window in the game. With so many siblings, it must have been difficult for Hugo to get attention. Family photo. The business-minded Monsieur da Silva's room.
Monsieur da Silva, I am sure you understand the necessity for this type of search.
Not really, Detective. Your speech was rather spirited. But it did not give me much faith in your investigation.
I have not had my abilities questioned to my face by one of those I suspect of a crime before.
Well, if you wish to prove me wrong, you should hurry up and find Felix's killer.
And I hope, with your help, monsieur, I shall.
Madame van den Bosch spoke of your work with her late husband.
Yes, I helped him invest some money. Unfortunately, he was not the businessman he thought he was.
Madame van den Bosch had a very similar view. At least he could have taken solace that you were both in the same position.
I think you're confused, Detective. It was Edwin that lost his fortune, not I.
Forgive my naivete. If you were helping him make viable investments, would you not have seen the same opportunity for yourself?
I told him about the opportunities. I did not tell him to put his whole family's wealth into it. The prospect of doing good meant more to him than his profit margins. He was bound to fail.
The business declared bankruptcy.
It did, until it was purchased for a fraction of its worth and made the new owner a small fortune.
I am beginning to see Monsieur da Silva's more ruthless side. It sounds as though the Viscount was trying to at least make a positive change, but perhaps he was missing Monsieur da Silva's cutthroat edge. What we spoke of last night regarding Madame van den Bosch.
Everything that I want to say on that matter has already been said.
I understand, monsieur. But what I would like to know is, was the late Viscount aware of your feelings towards his wife?
Excuse me, Detective, but you have crossed the line.
Cross the line like an attempt to bankrupt a business partner and friend so that you'll be able to swoop in and impress a certain target of your affections.
You make such ridiculous accusations without a shred of proof.
Your reaction at the mere suggestion is proof enough, monsieur. While I cannot arrest you for betrayal of a friend, I can hope your conscience does not forget, and that will be punishment enough.
Monsieur da Silva's actions are not criminal offense, but if there was penalty for deception and deceit, he would surely receive a life sentence. If he has gone to such lengths before, what would stop him from committing a similar act again, this time to the Major? I know you have worked with the Major, but what do you know of his finances?
He didn't have much to speak of. I was always surprised at the life he lived.
Surprised in what way?
Well, considering it wasn't that long ago he came to me asking about work, I didn't think he was in such good financial shape.
You offered him a position.
Nothing that he was willing to lower himself to. That's when he began talking about what else he could do for me.
The Major worked security for your factories?
If you can call what him and his team did security. For the money I paid, I did not expect them to be so reckless.
It was a considerable amount you paid him?
There's no need to divulge amounts, but it was certainly more than was expected.
One would expect a business of Monsieur da Silva's caliber to have agreed a price for the Major services. Why would he allow Sir to barter more? Tell me about the Major security team.
He said they were all professionals, but I saw nothing of the sort. He said he had worked with them all in the army as their superior officer. They were men that could be trusted.
But that was not the case?
I had not even met them before they arrived on site. They brought their own equipment. They looked like they knew what they were doing.
And this equipment, it included the weapons that injured and killed the workers?
It was not much of a choice, Detective. I said they didn't need them, but Felix said it was essential. He said he knew better.
The more Monsieur talks, the shadier his dealings with the Major become. It's beginning to sound as though the riots were no accident.
That is all for now.
Letter. A contract for a partnership between Ernesto and Hugo. It's missing Hugo's signature. 12th of January. This agreement is governed by the law of the Kingdom of Belgium. Both parties agree to the following. Current workers' strike shall cease in all manners and forms. Factory floor, machine operations and supervisors shall return to their positions immediately. Terms of the above contract shall be implemented and relevant action taken directly. Signed, M. Ernesto da Silva, factory owner and employer. Ernesto da Silva. M. Hugo Beckers, union leader. Niin sinä signitse. I can see why Hugo didn't sign this, because it doesn't say anything about workers getting more paid. Letter opener. A razor sharp letter opener, almost brand new, lies discarded on the floor. Tämän tuossa monen tech. Letter. A letter starting the blackmailer vault reveal information of his questionable business dealings. Monsieur da Silva, at first you may question the nature of this letter, but by its conclusion you will know that what you have fought so hard to keep hidden could be far from it. You have spent years feeding off of the hard-working backs of others and offering nothing in return. Your workers continue to take their lives into their own hands, day after day, with your sorry, damaged and dangerous machines for a fraction of what they deserve. Deal after deal is made, and while your pockets become fatter, lining them with more of your blood money, it is your workers that must pay the price. The mistreatment and pain you have caused does not only reside in the factories that you own, but the house that you live in. You do not value the lives of those that allow you to live the opulent life that you do, and I will not allow that to continue. I can no longer sit back and watch as you disregard any sense of integrity or morality and continue to remain on your self-made pedestal, lording over those that deserve so much more. It is time you paid the price for your crimes, and the cost is 5,000 francs. It is a small price to pay for my silence, for if I do not receive it before Friday, it will not be cash you are paying, but rather years behind bars. Bring the money in a small brown paper parcel, addressed to Monsieur Courier, to the post office on Rue des Entrepôts. Give it to the cashier and leave. If you do as requested, you will not hear from me again, and you may continue a life of luxury. It is obvious you do not value others' lives, but I urge you to consider what yours is worth.
What is it now, detective?
Were you expecting some correspondence this weekend?
Excuse me? Detective, I think you are beginning to lose your mind.
I do not think it is unreasonable to question why you would feel the need to bring a letter opener with you.
Really, detective? If I had stabbed a man with it, do you really think I would have left it lying out in my room?
Monsieur da Silva is correct. It was a stretch to believe someone would be so careless. The murder weapon remains somewhere in the house, though. Monsieur Demir invited Monsieur Beckens so that you two might sit down and find some common ground.
Yes, and no one asked him to.
But surely it is beneficial to both parties. Your profits must have been affected.
There are barely any profits to speak of.
Why have those talks not taken place and a deal arranged?
Monsieur Beckers has made no attempt to speak with me and offered no counter-offer. The ball is in his court, detective.
Although it is Monsieur da Silva's wages and treatment of his staff that is in question, it sounds as though he is at least trying to resolve the issue, surprising unlike Monsieur Beckers. Push on vai ennestå hitta letter.
I have spoken of a potential blackmail ring, and yet you still kept your letter to yourself.
It is none of your business, and it is nothing more than a cheap trick to have me admit something that is not true.
If that were the case, it would be strange for you to have kept the letter and brought it with you, would it not?
Your persistence is a trait I do not enjoy.
Monsieur da Silva has remained blunt, if not curt, with his responses to my questions. Perhaps it would be best to act in a cautious and emphatic manner so that he may more forthcoming with the truth of his blackmail letter and its contents. Ooh, this is tricky. Cautious and empathetic. I am just checking. Cautious. Kult. Deus. Ah. I just had to check what it is in Finnish.
No reason, detective. Merely saving you from wasting your time.
I will be the judge of that. I would like to know about any and all evidence that may help my investigation. I trust there is nothing else you deem a waste of my time.
Of course not, officer. It's not as though you think I'm harboring some
Detective.
illicit secret. The letter was a pathetic attempt to intimidate me. Nothing more.
Concerned.
I have never heard so much rubbish in all my life. I value those that work hard and deserve it.
That suggests there are some that you do not respect.
Yes, well, why should I praise someone for doing a poor job? You make me sound like some monster.
Monsieur, the letter does not only discuss your questionable business dealings, but also cases of abuse against your staff. Both accusations that must be taken very seriously.
Detective, there is a difference between telling a member of my staff what to do and abuse.
And it is you that decides where that line is drawn?
In my house? Yes, it is.
Monsieur does not like being pressed on the subject of how he treats staff. If he had nothing to hide, there should be no need for such reaction. Do you have any ideas as to which staff member may have expressed the abuse?
Please stop calling it that. I treat all my servants exactly how I always have, and no one has complained before.
That does not mean your behavior is appropriate.
They have one chance. If they are not doing the job they are hired to do, they are gone. You would be surprised how many staff expect an easy ride.
I did not expect Monsieur to treat his staff the same as his friends, but I also did not expect him to treat them like stray dogs.
Is there a specific member of staff that may have expected such a ride?
There is one girl, a new maid. I didn't expect great things from her, but Comtesse de Vos promised me she could do what was required.
This must be the young girl that the Comtesse spoke of. Perhaps the positions she is finding for these girls are not the best fit.
That is all for now.
Investigate the blackmail. There's a connection. Major confessed his love for Cassandra.
I cannot see the logic.
Employees.
Order and method. This will not get me. I must act on.
There. Means instead employed a servant from the women's shelter.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Magua is making her shelter girls do her dirty work, fighting dirt on members of the social elite.
Is there something?
No. I need to find a maid.
I must take a different. Come, my little. I cannot see the logic in it.
Couldn't say clear.
Come, my little. Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
The Demir Plato's intricate relationship is enough to suggest they would not have worked together.
must act on...
Oh, it's pristine. Key to the East Wing rooms. Oh yeah, that is what I have.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
In Jackie's opinion, she doesn't value Hugo particularly highly. Would he collaborate with anyone else, I wonder? No.
Order and method. This will not get me any closer.
Papers.
Is there something? I must take a different...
I have made connection for these two. These two. So next connection is...
I must act... I must take a different... Come, my little Grace. I cannot see the logic. Is there something?
No.
Order and method. This will not get me any... I must act on... Order and method. That... Come, my little grey cells. I cannot see the logic.
What is...
That is all.
There's nothing here. So there's a connection here somewhere.
This will not get me any... I must take a diff... Is there something... I must act...
No.
Is there something...
The women's shelter. Wait.
I must take a different approach.
No?
Come, my little great...
Go.
This will not get me... I cannot see the lot. Order and method. This will not get me any close. cannot see the logic in... I must take a different...
There's nothing
Ah.
here anywhere, no.
Ah.
There's one link, but where? It has to be with Magua and Ernesto.
Is there something... Come, my little... I must act on... Order and method. I must act... Is there something... I must take a different... This will not get me... I cannot see the logic in... Come, my little... Order and method. Come, my little great... Order and method.
Let the opener.
I must take a different...
Ah! I think maybe it was that.
Is there something...
No, it's just I am randomly pushing buttons.
This will not get me any... I cannot see the logic. I must act on... This will not get me... Is there something...
I don't want to again check the box
my
that
little
gives
grape.
me the hints.
I cannot see the logic. Order and method. I must take a different... I must act...
Have to try. Okay, what do we aim to employ the servant from the women's shelter and the partially signed contract with Hugo's signature.
Come, my little great... This will not get me... Is there something... I must act on thought... I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Hugo and Ernesto confirmed each other's alibis. It's possible that they may have colluded to murder the Major. Can I find anything to support this? Aha!
Another success. I never doubted myself.
I am doubtful these two would collaborate. Would Ernesto deal with another member of the house? Perhaps someone who never confirmed his alibi.
Magnifique.
Ernesto doesn't strike me as the sort of man that would ask for help, no matter how important.
What is it now, detective?
Did you speak with the Comtesse directly about hiring a servant from the shelter?
She approached me. I thought it was rather brash.
In what way?
Assuming that I would want to take on another servant, and one from such a troubled background. She is running the charity, not I.
Monsieur, there's something you are keeping from me. Your business relationship with the Major was obviously towing the line of legality.
When he came to me, I told him that with the factories on strike and my profits pouring down the drain, I had nothing for him. But he said he could help me get them all back to work and the factories earning. His rates were steep, but he said he knew what needed to be done, and he was prepared to do it. A week passed and they were all still on strike. In fact, even more had joined them. He made excuse after excuse, demanding more and more money for the job to be done. But he never actually told me what he was going to do.
The riots.
I had no idea they were going to charge them like that. How was I meant to know?
And even following such a tragedy, he continued to demand money from you.
He said if he wanted my silence, it would cost. Do you have any idea what it could do to my livelihood, my name? If it got out that I had paid the so-called security that did that.
I have every idea, monsieur. You hired a militia to take action against your own workers. You deserve whatever name is chosen for being so morally bereft in your decision-making.
I didn't know that was what he was going to do. You must believe me.
I have to believe nothing but the truth. And the truth, monsieur, is that it is not only the Major that has the blood of those men on his hands. That is all for now.
There's one connection I can make here. Asked Ernesto to offer help.
What a revelation!
And there's the connection. Margot may know more than she's letting on if she has an inside link with the staff of the house. I found no clear evidence of the guests working together in any capacity. What has become clear is the Compton's connection to the staff. Could there be something more to their relationship? Talk to Inga. There's the connection. That was actually weird that there was this whole thing with Archibald. There's always at least one connection to something.
Is there something you need, detective?
But it is also a payoff. That you know that. Is there a connection to the staff? Oh yes, there is. Tell me about your true relationship with the Comtesse.
She helped me at the shelter and with this job.
That I am already aware of. What I am not is what else she tasked you with.
Pardon, detective?
I know that your position as a servant in this house is not your only job. What did Countess de Vos ask you to do while in this house?
She said I had to do what she asked, or I would be back on the street. I didn't want to do it. If anyone found out, I would be the prime suspect.
Madame Van den Bosch would have been aware of Jan Inge's past, and she's worried that they would accuse her. What was asked of her must be related to her past life as a thief.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Follow Marco's orders.
I must take a different... I cannot see the logic.
Got the job from Marquis. Marquis.
Order and method. Is there something? Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Inge has admitted that her work in the house is not wholly honest.
What a revelation!
I thought it was irresponsible of Archibald to lose his key, but now its disappearance makes sense.
Is there something you need, Detective?
What was it that the Comtesse asked you to steal from the house?
Nothing. She said I was to take nothing.
If it was not something she wished you to take, what was it?
She wanted me to find out information about the family and Monsieur Hagen.
Why did she request that?
At first I didn't know, but when I heard about Mademoiselle Angeline being blackmailed, and then the Major, I knew she had used what I found.
Perhaps my suspicions of Monsieur Sterling's involvement with the Major's safe were incorrect and his key was not lost, but stolen. Tell me how you accessed the safe.
I knew Monsieur Archie had a key, and it would be easy to get it from him.
You knew that the Major asked Monsieur Sterling to access the safe from time to time, and if anything was ever discovered missing, he would surely take the blame.
I never took anything. I only told the Comtesse what I had found.
And that was?
About Monsieur Hagen and the Madame's relationship, and Angeline.
I'm sure the Countess was pleased to hear such valuable information.
She said I had done a good job, but I needed proof. That's why I went back and got the letters last night.
So it was Jan Inge that beat Madame van den Bosch to the safe last night. But why would they left in such a precarious fashion? When I returned to the study this morning, the letters remained out and the safe open.
I fetched the letters again and took them to the Comtesse last night. But she shouted at me and said what a stupid girl I was.
You were only doing as she requested.
She said it was too dangerous for her to have them with you around. That's when I returned them to the study. I thought I heard someone on the stairs, so I just threw them back. It was dark as I dared not turn the light on. Someone would have seen it.
Trying to slot a key into a lock in the dark is no easy feat. That would explain the scratches on the safe. If Madame van den Bosch had only tried to retrieve the letter minutes earlier, she would have surely crossed paths with Inge.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Inge knows of the hidden room.
Come, my little...
Nothing was moved in the study. Let's gather information.
I must take a different order and method.
No connection.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I wonder how many secrets the house holds for Inge to find.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
There is somewhere in this house where a secret lies. It will surely be found in the hidden room. My suspicions of the Comtesse connection with Inge was correct. She was using the young girl to find out anything and everything she could about the family, while the Comtesse need not even get her hands dirty. And that is done.
Is there something you need, Detective?
What else have you relayed to the Comtesse?
That's all, I swear. I heard Monsieur Archie and Monsieur Felix talking about a storeroom, but I haven't found it.
Is the Countess aware of this room?
I told her it was somewhere in the house, but I didn't know where. She wasn't happy with me that I hadn't found it yet.
I believe if Jan Inge knew the location of the secret store, she would have been forthcoming with it. It may be naive on my part, but she has already incriminated herself and has nothing else to lose.
Merci, mademoiselle. Your honesty today has helped me greatly.
I suppose that I will lose my position at the house now.
That is not my decision to make. But when the whole truth is revealed, it will not be the pawns the law looks to convict. We shall be coming for the Queen.
Blackmail. Links to several staff members.
I cannot see the lot.
Instruments.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Such a calculation web of lies and secrets. What motive could possibly justify such devious actions? Finally, I have unmasked the blackmailer. Mademoiselle Angeline and the other recipients of such letters may no longer live in fear. Comtesse de Vons shall pay for her crimes. Now we know who's the blackmailer. Checking that there's no exclamation marks.
Mademoiselle, merci for coming.
Have you had a breakthrough, Detective?
I have. Finally, I have the news you have awaited.
Please, Detective, don't hold me in suspense.
I have finally uncovered the identity of the one holding the Van Den Bosch name to ransom.
Oh my, I feel faint at the thought of knowing who could have done this to us.
It is said to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It is Comtesse de Vos that is behind the letters.
I don't believe it. What about the Major's letter?
Not only his, but a letter to Monsieur da Silva.
She was blackmailing him as well? Detective, I just don't know what to say.
Take a moment, mademoiselle. It is a lot of information to take in.
I just don't understand why she would do such a cruel thing.
What do you know of young Inge's past?
She has never been particularly forthcoming with it. Only that she was homeless for some time and that she was at the women's shelter before here.
And it is there that the Countess abused her power and manipulated her to uncover secrets of the family.
All this time she has been working for Margot, doing her dirty work?
I am afraid so, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle is in a state of shock. To learn that such a close friend of the family has betrayed them in such a cruel way, it must be devastating.
Is Maman aware?
You are the first I have told, mademoiselle. Next will be the authorities.
I'm afraid that we'll have to wait.
S'il vous plaît, mademoiselle, we must go through the correct channels.
And we will. I want to see her punished to the fullest extent of the law. But we cannot telephone anyone, as the lines are still down.
Monsieur Archibald informed me earlier. I had hoped they would be working again. Last night's snow must have caused more damage than expected.
Last night? They have been done all weekend, Detective. Detective? Are you okay?
How could I have been such a fool? I summoned Sir Sterling talk on the telephone, but I heard no ring.
Detective Poirot?
It was all a lie, a scene acted out for my benefit to throw me off the scent. If I believed that the Major was still alive at that time, I had no reason to investigate anyone's whereabouts beforehand. Anyone but Monsieur Sterling and his staff.
Would you like me to fetch you a glass of water, Detective?
My apologies, mademoiselle. I was taken by surprise for a moment, but I have regained my composure. A glass of water is not required. Would you excuse me?
Oh, that is a good twist.
Merci, mademoiselle.
I wasn't. Good twist is something that you don't expect. It doesn't matter how minor it is. The family. Can I beat this chapter? Before stopping today, I am thinking in a good fortune I am able to finish this game tomorrow. Because I have feeling I am close to the end, so there is not, the chapters are not that long. But I will be right back. I have returned. I apologize. Excuse me. I apologize. My business has grown thin. The quest and the staff of this house think it acceptable to lie to my face when questioned and obstruct my investigation. But no more. We shall see how Monsieur Stalin and his staff fare under some pressure. Ashley was right. Butler did it. Wait a minute. No. Archibald is a servant. Does he have connection with Magua? Other servants had connections to Magua, but because they were in the women's shelter before being employed. I have been lied to for the last time. My suspicions initially led me to the guests, but now they are firmly placed on the staff. Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Lehana cannot hide behind their lies any longer. And yes, and Lehana has connections to Luke, who was in the prologue in love with Elizabeth. That is a connection with them. But then who's the mastermind? Who is indeed the culprit? Is there a culprit? Or have I imagined everything? Is this the whole case inside Poirot's head? It looks like Elizabeth is on her way to see me, but at such a late hour.
Mademoiselle, what a pleasure to see you.
Detective,
It is a rather late hour to be wandering the halls.
Oh, yes, of course. I do not feel myself, Detective.
If that is the case, you should be resting. Allow me to help.
No, that's quite all right. I will see to my duties and return to bed.
Lizzie, excuse me, Elizabeth. Lady Van den Bosch has been waiting for some time now.
Lizzie, a little familiar tone.
Oh, yes, sorry. Detective Poirot was just...
I'll see to the detective. You just head on up. Off you go.
Good night, Detective.
Either this is all facade.
Bonne nuit, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth certainly not herself. I thought the death of the Major had brought up uncomfortable memories of her beloved look, but it may be something else.
I'm sorry about her, Detective. As you can see, she is still not back to her usual bubbly self.
This weekend seems to have taken quite a toll on her.
She'll be right as rain in a couple of days. Now, what can I help you with?
As if by magic you appeared when needed. I would like to speak with you and the remaining staff. If you could gather them in the staff pantry.
At this hour, Detective? Is that really necessary?
I shall be the one that determines what is and what is not necessary, and this is very much the former.
As you wish, Detective. I'll see if Inge is finished preparing for breakfast.
And Mademoiselle Rihanna?
Yes, of course. I'll fetch her from the kitchen. Elizabeth may be some time with the lady of the house. Perhaps you'd like to start with us?
Very well. I shall speak with Mademoiselle Elizabeth when her duties are complete.
While I am gathering the staff, Mr. Beckers is in the library. If you wish to join him, I could bring you both a nightcap.
I wish to keep a clear head, but there is something I wish to discuss with Monsieur Beckers.
This is opportunity to confront Monsieur Beckers about his dealings, or lack thereof, with Monsieur da Silva without being disturbed.
Monsieur Beckers, it is rather late. The other guests have already retired to their rooms.
I didn't even see the time. It's easy to lose oneself in a library this impressive.
That is something we can agree on, monsieur.
I suppose I should be heading?
Un moment, monsieur. There are some matters that we must discuss.
Oh, what is it, detective?
I did not realize your relationship with Mademoiselle Conrad was so business-oriented.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Her proposal to make you somewhat of a star, a figurehead for the working man. What would you call that?
There was certainly no talk of making me a star. That is not the type of man I am. She wanted to write a piece on my work with the union, and I was happy to oblige.
Monsieur Beckers has always appeared to have the worker intentions at the forefront of his decisions, but perhaps the thought of being remembered for something great was too much for him to pass up. I was wondering, did your speech go the way you expected?
My speech? I'm not sure what speech.
You may save your false ramblings for your next audience. I am aware you spoke with the Major yesterday.
Whoever told you that has it wrong, detective.
Please, monsieur. The truth.
Okay, fine. Yes, the Major and I spoke, but it was not for long.
What was the manner of your conversation? From what I understand, it was not a light-hearted chat.
I was trying to convince him to speak with Ernesto. It's time we brought the strikes to an end.
And that was best approached by a shouting match?
He wouldn't listen to what I said. I spent so long preparing how I was going to convince him, but men like him are only swayed by one thing: money.
Monsieur Beckers is not wrong. Had he tried to grease the Major's palm, perhaps he would have been more successful.
It is said that money is the root of all evil, but it can also be a rather powerful bargaining chip.
Well, he was bargaining with people's lives. If he had acted sooner, none of those men, my men, would have to die.
The Major oversaw security at the factories. Could he have done more to stop strikes turning violent? I understand Monsieur da Silva had prepared a deal.
A deal? It was an insult.
And that is why you did not sign it?
I didn't sign it because the workers deserve so much more, not his pathetic attempts to get them back to work.
Did you think there was a chance for a better deal to be made?
I know there was. He's a pompous swine that cares for only himself and filling his pockets.
I'm sure I have heard that description of Monsieur da Silva before, or at least something similar. Bush and Jacqueline's influence over Hugo.
Mademoiselle Conrad can be quite convincing, can she not?
She has certainly taken several wealthy business partners by surprise with her knowledge and prowess. She knows how to use her womanly powers to get what she wants.
But she did not surprise or use you?
Me? Use me? Don't be ridiculous, detective. There were no games played at my expense.
Monsieur Beckers has quite a way with words and is a fan of his own voice. Perhaps that allow him the opportunity to speak and open up without too much interruption and forcefulness. Please.
No, she just reminded me of what I was fighting for. And I stand by that. It was an insult.
A rather bold move to make such a decision on your own.
Your job is to support the workers, but nothing you have done has got them any closer to the result you promised.
I may not be perfect, but I've done everything I can.
Your efforts fell short in every respect. You claim to be the voice of the people, but you care about no one's voice or benefits but your own.
It's not as easy as just signing a piece of paper, detective. It is a heavy weight to bear on one's shoulders. I consulted with others.
You yourself spoke of Mademoiselle Conrad's cunning in business.
And I told you, I was not one of her targets.
Tell me then, what was it she reminded you of? The acclaimed man of the people you would be known as if you pushed the factory owners for more?
It wasn't like that at all.
From where I am standing, it was she that was manipulating the terms of the deal, and you in the process. You were merely her pawn.
Okay, yes, I know. I shouldn't have listened to her. But what else could I do? Remain an unknown my whole life? I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt.
It may not have been your intention, but we both know the result. You rolled the dice with those men's lives for fame, and you lost.
Pardon my intrusion, but you are from a large family.
What does that have to do with anything?
I have often wondered about the competition siblings face in a large family.
When you're young, it is the best feeling to know you have family that will stand by you, without even being asked. It is not until everyone starts carving their own path that you realize you're walking yours solo, and those that were beside you are now miles away. My older brothers were the athletes of the family. They both played soccer, and were the infatuation of every teenage girl. I'm sure you have seen the type.
Oui, monsieur, but I can assure you that was not I.
Then there was me. Quiet, timid, a shadow of the Becker brothers. My voice and very presence was forgotten and ignored. Nothing I could say or do would ever reach the bar they had set. But I always knew I was destined for great things. Years passed, and now that I no longer stood in the colossal ombre of my brothers, I could become my own man. When the position of union leader was posted, it was my chance to finally be heard. You hear politicians speak of the little or the common man? Well, that was me. And I knew what we wanted and what we needed. When I spoke, others listened. I held their gaze with a sense of pride, a sense that what I was doing was for the greater good. It was supposed to be my crowning achievement, lead the men to victory over the money-grabbing oppressors. But instead, all I did was lead them to their deaths.
Monsieur, it was not at your hands that these men died. The blame cannot lie solely on your shoulders. Those responsible will be punished for their crimes. That you must trust.
Monsieur Becker's story is one of fighting to have one's voice heard, be it a single or one of the masses. I'm afraid he may be remembered for what he did, but not in the way he hoped. While speaking to Monsieur Beckers was not the reason for me being up at this hour, he was able to fill in some of the blanks regarding the Major, but not in getting any closer to discovering his killer with the staff living quarters will. Staff living quarters, isn't that upstairs? It usually is the... No, is it downstairs? No, they are usually downstairs. Well, not usually, but you know what I mean. Staff quarters. Yeah. A decent supply of logs. I just hope the staff also get to make use of them with this weather. Newspaper. They are a few days old and do not hold a candle as to what has transpired here this weekend. Hammock. I'm glad I'm abreast of the house. I'm not sure how well I would sleep in such a contraption. Cupboard. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. Luggage.
Oh.
A war medal that I assume must belong to the Major. Why is it here? Why is it here? I'm on clothes. A rather luxurious jacket. The initials read FH. Felix Hagen. Are these coffee boots his as well? Why would they be left here though? The items I have found are most intriguing and require an explanation that I believe only the staff can give. I shall meet them in the pantry.
Detective, what can we do for you?
Why was the clothes there?
You can help me by telling the truth, and in the process, help yourselves.
Sorry, Detective. It's a bit late in the night for riddles.
It is no riddle, monsieur. If I do not receive the truth, you shall all be charged as accessories to murder.
Detective, I think maybe you have been locked in this house for too long. We have already...
You have told me a version, and now I require honesty. Mademoiselle, I shall keep my questions brief.
I don't know what else I can tell you.
You have been honest with me so far. All I request is that you continue to do so.
Oui, detective.
I am already aware of Mademoiselle's involvement with the blackmail, but I am not sure if she is also connected to the Major's murder. Tell me what happened before you found the Major in his study.
It was frantic in the pantry. We were working hard to make sure everything was up to scratch.
Go on.
Then Liz burst in, asking for Mamore's help.
Her help with what, exactly?
I don't know. She took Liz to one side, and I was needed in the salon. We spoke just after that in the pantry.
You did not question what she needed help with?
I was too busy. I love Liz, but she sheds a tear at almost everything these days. Although, I have never seen her look so pale.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth still looked pale when I saw her earlier. I understand the amount of work that goes into keeping a house of this size running, but Madame cannot expect the staff to work if they are ill. Perhaps Mademoiselle Lehana can clear up the reason for Elizabeth's panic.
Merci. I shall return if I have any further questions.
Lehana.
Mademoiselle, I shall be as quick and precise with my questioning as possible.
Okay. What do you need?
My condolences on your Poirot's passing.
Merci. He was a good man. Taken too early.
Forgive me, mademoiselle, for not extending them earlier, but I was not aware of your relationship.
He was my only brother, and he died doing what he believed was right. If I ever get my hands on who took him from me...
Oh boy. So the shot probably was a motive. I understand why she is so angry for her brother to be taken from this world at such a young age and in such a violent manner. Violence cannot be met with violence, but I am not sure Mademoiselle feels the same. Tell me about your brother's involvement in the riots at the factory.
You say the riots, but it was the strike he was part of. They started the riots, not the workers.
By they, you are referring to the security forces. They were brought in to keep the peace.
Security, huh? They were brought in to make an example of them. It was all peaceful until they arrived.
Why would they need to make an example?
So that the workers would stop rallying. No one is going to go on strike if they think they'll get killed. The security you talk of were armed and ready. The workers were pigs to the slaughter. What chance did they have?
It is obvious Mademoiselle is still upset about her brother's death, and rightly so. If the events were as Mademoiselle describes, I cannot comprehend how the security forces were able to get away with such despicable acts of violence. Pardon moi, Mademoiselle. I know we have spoken on this, but you took Ice to the Major, correct?
Yes.
This was before or after Archibald took him a bottle of whiskey.
Before.
You are sure?
It may have been after.
The whiskey is kept in the cellar with all the alcohol.
It is.
Then you must have noticed him going into the cellar and returning with a bottle through the pantry, no?
Yes, I suppose I did. It must have been before then.
It took only one question for Mademoiselle to doubt her own story. What I still cannot see is why the need for the lies. Tell me about Elizabeth yesterday.
What is there to say? Being locked away in the pantry, I don't see her for most of the day.
That may be, but she came looking for your help before dinner was served, did she not?
She wasn't feeling well, that's all.
And she came to you.
I told you, we are a family here. The girls come to Mama Reh if they have a problem, and I fix it.
When I saw her earlier, I must admit she was not looking herself. Perhaps I should check on her.
No! Just leave the poor girl. She'll be fine after another bowl of my homemade soup. She just needs her rest.
I'm sure Mademoiselle Lehana is a loving mother figure to the staff while away from their families, but her eagerness to keep me from seeing Mademoiselle Elizabeth again does not sit comfortably.
Merci, mademoiselle.
I swear I can hate English.
That is all for now. Monsieur Sterling, is there anything you would like to add to your story?
I'm not sure what you think I have done, Detective.
Let us not string out this charade any longer.
The telephone call the Major received.
From his associate. I've already told you, Detective. I don't know who it was.
Do not worry yourself on such details now. I suppose they were lucky to have called when they did. Otherwise, they may not have gotten through at all, with the telephone lines being down as of yesterday.
Aye, Detective. Lucky, I guess.
Monsieur Sterling is no fool. I believe he is aware I suspect him of something. Perhaps some carefully worded questions are all that are needed for him to slip up. You were the last to see the Major alive when you brought him the bottle of whiskey in his study, correct?
Whiskey?
You took a bottle of whiskey to the Major. You spoke with Monsieur Demire en route.
Aye, of course. It was a bottle he picked up from his last visit to Scotland. Rather smoky number from the Highlands. He was saving it for a worthy occasion. Drowning his sorrows must have been fitting enough.
At first he does not remember bottle at all, and as if by magic he recalls the exact details.
Or was it the one from the West Coast? You'll have to excuse my memory, Detective. It's not what it used to be.
Funny that first you remember every detail of everything, and then when you are suspected of something, then suddenly it is, sorry, my memory is failing. Poirot did it. Poirot did it. Ashley was right. Can you explain why a medal belonging to the Major was amongst your belongings?
Oh, you found it. Thank you, Detective. I've been looking everywhere for it.
If I had lost a war medal, I would not stop until I found it.
It's not what you think. I was...
Exploiting a dead man's military achievements for your own personal gain?
Nothing of the sort. He asked me to clean them up. I must have dropped it into my pocket when I was putting them back. An honest mistake.
Never have I heard such a pathetic excuse to explain a stolen item in one's possession. I would expect a better life from an infant. Cannot claim to be an expert, but I would presume a medal like that would be of quite some value.
I wouldn't know. Probably.
Your father was in the military for many years. That is what you told me.
He was.
And your family still keep his medals?
They were sold.
And why was that, monsieur?
Is my family on trial now, Detective?
Only you, monsieur. And I repeat my question.
Because we needed money.
Voila.
Monsieur Sterling was well aware of the medal's value when it found its way into his belongings. You claim the Major asked you to clean his medals for display purposes?
No. He keeps them safe with some of his old military documentation.
Is that a typical job for the head butler?
He trusts me to do a good job. I told him I used to clean my father's, so he asked me to do the same.
And where does he keep these items?
In the storage room. I know where everything is, so it's just easier if I fetch them for him as and when he needs them.
I do not recall seeing any military memorabilia or keepsake when I was in the storage room. Could there be another storage room he speaks of? Are you happy here at the Van den Bosch house?
It's certainly better than my last.
You are paid a fitting wage for the work that is asked of you?
I'm sure the lady of the house would not want me discussing it, but should not complain.
That is not the most convincing answer, monsieur.
Between you and I, we all work very hard here, and it would be nice if we were rewarded for it.
It seems Monsieur Sterling is trying to convince me, as he has himself, that his light-fingered actions are justifiable due to the petty wage he receives for his honest work.
Please don't go anywhere. If I require more information, I shall call on you again.
Okay. There's 4 connections there. Dig deeper into Archibald and Rihanna's suspicious actions. Worn out boots. What was told for Major Medal? This is the phone call.
This will not get me.
Hannah believes workers didn't stand a chance.
I must act up.
There's 4 connections here.
I must act. I must take a different. I cannot see the logic. Is there something? Come, my little.
Involved with the murder.
This will not get me. Order and method.
But upset.
I must act. Come, my little. I must take a different approach.
Focus our major outside. Not boots. After I spoke to him.
Order and method. This will not get me. The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
How can either of them forget something so important from only the day before? Learn unsolved your stories.
Is there something? I cannot see the lot.
No logic.
Order and method.
Mage's coat.
Magnifique.
The Major would not have left such a fine coat in the staff area. Someone must have worn it. More importantly, however, who wore the Major's clothes? Aha, yeah, now we are getting there.
This will not get me. I must act. Another success. I never doubted myself.
The theory that the Major had been killed during dinner was nothing but a ruse. Why are the staff covering for the real time of death?
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Both Archibald and Lehana played the parts very well. That is until they became complacent. Why do the staff feel they need to fabricate stories? And now there is couple more connections.
I cannot see the logic. I must take a What a revelation!
I should have known at first glance this belonged to a member of the staff, but who?
Come, my little Grey. Is there something? Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
A staff member dressed in the Major's clothes and took his position out in the snow for the guests to see. Why would they do this?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
I almost had to relay their stories back to them both. I obviously cannot trust a word they have said. Why are the staff hiding the truth from me?
Magnifique.
It is a revelation I had not expected. The staff were involved in the murder. While young Inge is guilty of her own crimes associated with the blackmail, it is Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Lehana that have been an integral part in covering up and obscure the truth of how the Major was killed. The staff were already suspicious to begin with, but this confirms their involvement. Are all the staff members involved? I am close to revealing the truth about the Major's murder, but I must understand the roles that each and every person involved played before the final puzzle is solved. Just coming downstairs.
I cannot see the logic. Things are beginning to become clearer.
I cannot imagine the pain they have felt to losing Luke. His memory will live in their heads. Hearts. Will live on in their hearts, not heads. What's about stage the phone call? That member impersonate the Major.
This will not get me.
Inge feels disconnected from her peers.
I must take a different... Is there something... What a revelation!
I'm confident Inge isn't part of the cover-up that has clearly been a focus for the other staff.
Come, my little... Order and method. I must act...
There's the connection for this.
Come, my little... I must take a different... I must act... Order and method. Is there something... This will not get me... I cannot see the lot...
No connection there, I can know it for certain.
I cannot see the lot... Come, my little Grace. The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Elizabeth looked pale and the other members of staff were were busy in their duties. She must have found the body, but did she play a part in the murder?
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Although her duties are primarily focused in kitchen and pantry, I don't recall seeing her.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Archibald's acting skills came into play for cover for a member of the staff, but who?
Is there something? I must take a different...
Now there's a connection here. But with what?
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
The stage phone call was Archibald's assignment. He went to great lengths to protect Elizabeth, but why did he feel the need to cover for Elizabeth?
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Impersonating the Major was Alana's role in the plan. Why it was necessary, I am not sure of yet. Why did she feel the need to cover for Elizabeth? Valiant Inge is guilty of her own crimes. Associated with the blackmail, it is Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Alana that have been an integral part in covering up and obscuring the truth of how the Major was killed. But why did they cover it? Possibility was that Elizabeth is the murderer. I now have all the pieces of the puzzle. I must return to my room and place them together until the result reveals itself. It is time for my little crazers to go to work. I am so close to uncovering the truth.
Magnifique.
How could I have allowed this to slip through my grasp? Elizabeth is the murderer. I can't believe I did not see it, blinded by my own trust. When I look back now, the clues were there, staring me in the face. I spent my time chasing connections between the guests. Their motives and agendas were more than enough to raise suspicions, but while distracted by them, I failed to notice the one absent member of the household. What I still cannot grasp is why. I promised myself that after that fateful day in the capital, I would not let my judgment steer me adrift. But once again, it is I left to look in the fool. There is nothing more than can be done tonight. I must at least try to rest my head in preparation for confronting Mademoiselle Elizabeth in the morning. The truth. What in the world? Has an elephant escaped and made its way to the second floor? It sounds as though it's coming directly from above me, but that is the storage room. And that is a perfect cliffhanger. Why? because at least with this series there is 2 more chapters. So I am doing them tomorrow. All books in the library? Didn't I do it already? But yeah. That is where I stop this today. Tomorrow is the final deduction. And we find who the killer is. Well, we already know who the killer is, but still, you know. We confront her and put her to justice. But that was enough for today. But okay. Okay. I will stop this here. Yeah. Tomorrow I will confront the killer. Yes. For exceptions, because I am so close to the end, I am finishing this tomorrow. That is a promise. But yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, lovely people in the chat. Manuel Suno, this was Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot. The first cases, and I will see you again next time, same Venot channel. Good night.